This is special writing from Pottermore and Wizarding School Secrets. So looking on Pottermore for original writing from JK Rowling, back in 2016, like can you believe so long ago, that we learned about more Wizarding World schools. We already knew from the Harry Potter series. We already knew about Hogwarts, the first Wizarding World school, but we also learned about Durmstrang and we also learned about Beauxbatons. Now, little was known at the time of their whereabouts, but thanks to additional writing, we learned more about those additional 2 schools, which I'm going to go into in depth, and I'm also going to go into depth of the other Wizarding World schools that we learned from this new writing. Durmstrang is believed to be situated in the very far north of Europe, but apparently is the most secretive of schools. People who have visited have had to agree to memory charms to basically wipe it from their mind, but they speak of this amazing place. Now, you can read more about these and obviously on wizardingworld.com, which is the new Pottermore, and I would urge you to go and read a bit more about that. So what we learned about Beauxbatons Academy of Magic is believed to be situated in the Pyrenees, and although it does have a large number of French students, does cater to Spanish, Portuguese, Luxembourgians, Dutch, Belgium students, so because it has such a large student base, cover quite a large area. So having known about these 3 Wizarding World schools already, this new writing established that there were actually 11 prestigious Wizarding schools worldwide. Now if we look at this map, officially we only learn about another 4 more. Ilvermorny in North America, Castle Abruzzi in Brazil, Wagadu in Africa, and finally Maji Koro in Japan. Now there are some wonderful stories on wizardingworld.com, which is the new Pottermore, all original writing by JK Rowling, and I would really recommend going and reading about them. The longest is of course Ilvermorny, which I'm sure a lot of people have read already, but it was quite some time since I read it again, and it was such a welcome read. I really enjoyed just learning more about the Wizarding World and all this backstory, and reading about there's actually so much. I've actually not finished reading through it all because there's so many little stories, just going through them again. But of the Wizarding World schools that we're talking about today, here are just some of the interesting facts that I thought that you might like to know, or just reminded like I was. So for Ilvermorny students, no child was actually allowed to carry a wand until they actually attended the school, and when they left for vacation, they actually left their wand at the school. It's not until they attained the age of 17 that they were permitted to carry a wand around with them. Now, because I'm a little bit of a wand nerd and read all that a little bit more intensively, I want to know more about the wand calls, and it does go in depth of all the different wand calls, such things as wampus cat hair, snallygaster, heartstring, jackalope antlers, there's thunderbird tail feathers, there's actually a few more, and I'd really recommend going and reading about them if you're a wand nerd like me. So at the African Wizarding World School, which is Wagadu, we learn that wands were a European invention. So although now used at the school, the majority of spells were cast with wandless magic, with hand gestures and just like pointing. I'm guessing Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Ding! And the way that they are selected for the school is apparently by dream messenger. So the headmaster or headmistress at the time would send a dream messenger, so it would appear to the child in their dream, and they would leave a token, normally a stone, inscribed in the hand of the sleeping child, so when they wake, they would know that they have been chosen. How magical is that? Apparently no other school does that. So at Maji Koro, which hopefully I'm saying that correctly, is the Japanese wizarding school. And they have like colour changing robes, and you actually attend it far earlier than any other wizarding school at the age of 7, but you don't board there until like your age 11. So when you're travelling back and forth, you get travelled back by giant storm petrels, which is just amazing. Like imagine travelling on a giant bird, how cool is that? So now on to Castle Abruzzi, which is the Brazilian wizarding school. Students there wear bright green robes and are especially advanced in herbology and magizoology. Apparently there is a cool exchange program with Wizarding World schools if you want to go to Brazil to study their magical flora and fauna. And apparently on the reading, the headmistress of the Brazilian school does actually do an exchange visit to Hogwarts, which is around the time of the headmaster Armando Dippet. So I wonder if that's going to feature in any of the Fantastic Beasts storylines. As we're going to Brazil now for Fantastic Beasts 3, I wonder what might come of that. What do you think? So there are still 4 unknown Wizarding World schools. Now, JK Rowling does write that the majority of Wizarding population do prefer to homeschool their children, but I'm still really interested to learn what those other 4 are. Now, through additional research, I did find that one of the ones could be called Durmstrang, which is the Russian Wizarding World school. But that still leaves another 3 that we still need to find out of the 11 prestigious Wizarding World schools. What do you think they could be? I'd really love to know what your thoughts would be. And also, wherever you are in the world, what school would you go to? Now, of course, we all wish to go to Hogwarts, and you can to Hogwarts if you want, but I want to know what country you're in and what magical school you'd go to. Leave me a comment in the section below. I hope you've enjoyed learning or just being reminded of the writing from Pottermore and the Wizarding School secrets. If you have enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell, because I will be doing more videos like this, which you can see over here, because I love learning more about the Wizarding world and this extra writing from JK Rowling. And hopefully, the more I dive into those, it makes the Wizarding world just one spell away.